What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Scourge of Guy Ran, Mondays in the Mortal Realms, whatever we're calling this show. Today we're going to be talking about Ogor Mawtribes. But before we get to that, we got to cover something. You might notice that it's just me today. That's because I have some bad news for you. Everyone, prepare yourselves. Zach has gone to Legends. It's very sad. He was doing unsanctioned science, and they came after him, and they got him. They cut him down in his prime. He's up, so keep that in mind today, that Zach's probably up there somewhere, looking down on us. Probably, like, sipping wine or something. I don't know. No, Zach's taking the day off, so he's up north, actually, probably actually sipping on wine. He's in Sonoma right now, so that leaves us to take care of Ogor Mawtribes and some Deepkin reveals. So lucky us. Zach, let us know what you think. Let's turn this off now. All right, let's hop right into it. I also have some notes from Brad, so Brad will be showing up at some point here. All right. We don't want to start at the top there. We want to start at the top. All right. I'm not super familiar with Ogor Mawtribes, so let's get Brad in here. What did Brad have to say? Brad had to say this. Current state. Overall, the current faction pack has some big holes when it comes to interesting rules for Gutbusters units. There isn't a battle formation that directly affects Ogor infantry. The two formations that might apply to Gutbusters enhance them in an indirect way. The heroic traits are also unexciting. The best one makes a hero into a priest, but only one of the prayers could be useful in any way to a purely Gutbusters army. So, looking like Brad thinks Gutbusters needs some help. That's generally what I've heard. When I see people play, it's mostly Beastclaw Raiders. That's what Zach plays, the big monsters. And even them, they're kind of, they're not great. They could use a tune-up too. So, let's see what we got today. We got two battle formations. We have Maw Path Menaces. This is once per turn, enemy charge phase, which is interesting. Pick a friendly Ogor infantry unit that is not in combat to be the target. Roll a dice on a 3-up. That target can move can move a number of inches equal to the roll. It can move through the combat ranges of enemy units and can end that move in combat. If it does so, the target is charged. That seems decent. It's something like a short-ranged counter charge, or like a weird out-of-phase Mighty Destroyers. It's good you can end in combat, and counting is charged. Don't love the 3-up. Generally, we don't like to build around those, and if that's your battle formation, you are building around that. Only in the enemy charge phase as well is kind of interesting. That means you're not really using this much of the game. I mean, you use it a couple times a game. Doesn't seem like something you want to build around. Let's see what Brad had to say about it, though. Did Brad have anything to say about it? I got to bring him back. Hey, welcome back, Brad. Hey, it's me, Brad. It's me, Brad. Extra movement in an infantry army is great. In 3rd ed, every Ogor unit not in combat got an extra movement, which was a fantastic and flavorful ability. This echoes that ability in some small way with the added benefit of cheating into combat. I just wish it couldn't fail, like as we said, on a 3-up, or could be more than one unit. That said, you'll get a chance to roll every enemy turn. Well, potentially, yeah. I mean, yeah, you do get to roll every turn whether you want to get into combat or not. Also, we're not doing the science today. No science today. We don't want to do science without Zach. Or else we'll get got too, like he did. R.I.P. Yeah, overall this seems fine. I don't know. Am I crazy? Is there something more to this that I'm missing? I don't know. All right, and then we're going to move on to Greedy Eaters, which is... I can't... Where is that? Once per turn, end of any turn, post-prandial warfare? I'll be honest, I don't know what that means. So you declare up to D3 friendly Ogre infantry units that were in combat with an enemy unit. When it was destroyed, this turned to be... Sorry, what? Pick up to D3 friendly Ogor infantry units that were in combat with an enemy unit. When it was destroyed, this turned to be the targets. Return 1 slain model to each target unit. Okay, so you can return some models if you fought. I mean, that seems fine. You know, these are big health dense models. Picking D3 units is kind of an interesting choice as well. Almost feels like they should have just given you 2. Makes it a little bit easier to build around. I don't know. Neither of these seem crazy good. Not bad, though. Let's see what Brad has to say. Brad, what do you say? Brad says, for greedy eaters, this could be quite strong. Ogres are squishy. They have lots of wounds, but they die easily. It's rare that you will get through a combat without losing at least a few models. Yeah, they have pretty terrible saves. But they also hit hard, so it's reasonable to expect that you could trigger this several times a game. Yeah. So, like, nothing crazy. But I guess at the end of the day, when it comes to the foot infantry, you don't have anything, really. So, something's better than nothing, I guess. Great. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so they brought back big names, it looks like. Or they've added some big names. So big names are interesting because some people were expecting monstrous traits, which they didn't get. But big names are basically taking a second heroic trait. So that's not bad. And then these can go on the either wing of the army. So passives for the first name is going to be Gut Sluggers, which is a passive. Add 1 to hit rolls for this unit's combat attacks if it did not charge in the same turn. That's fine. I don't think there's anything crazy about that. Pretty decent. I think this is kind of the start of the show. The next one, Mage Swallower. Mage Swallower is a passive. You subtract 1 from ward rolls for enemy units while they're within 6 inches of this unit. That's nuts. Not wholly within, just within. If you throw this on a large base model, because you can put this on the Beast Claw Raider, so you throw this on a Frostlord or something, that's a lot of a lot of people getting their wards turned off. I think this is going to really hurt things like demons, right, with their 6-up wards, witch elves, which have poor saves, and they kind of rely on their ward for any amount of survivability. So that's not gonna feel good for them. All right, then we got big names. Mega Gobbler. This is a once per turn in the deployment phase. You pick one of the following keywords: infantry, cavalry, monster, war machine, beast. For the rest of the battle, each time any damage points are allocated to an enemy unit with that keyword by this unit's combat attacks, and that enemy unit is destroyed in the same turn, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of this unit's melee weapons. This effect is cumulative? That's potentially good. Potentially good. I don't know if that's like realistically how many things you're going to be killing with one character, but yeah. Saul saying, "Hey, this is pretty bad for ogres." Yeah, so far the only thing I see that's really sticking out is Mage Swallower, which is the one that subtracts 1 from your ward rolls within a bubble. Let's see what Brad had to say. Brad. Hello, Brad. Hey, what's up? It's me. As mentioned previously, the heroic traits are particularly unexciting. For Gutbusters, the new options are good. Gut Slugger. Tyrants are reasonably durable, so getting this to trigger in ongoing combat is likely, but the best target is probably a Frostlord on Stonehorn, although it won't benefit the mount, which does the most damage, obviously. Either way, Destruction Armor sitting on 4 Desperate needs this kind of buff. I agree. As someone who plays Iron Jaws, I'm totally with you. Any amount of +1 to hit is kind of a game changer. We really, really get hurt when we're debuffed on that to hit roll. Next up is Mage Swallower. Turning off wards is the kind of ability that is irrelevant until it is amazing. Best on Beast Claw, where the bubble will be bigger and damage output is higher. Beast Claw, B+, Gutbuster, B-. Yeah, I would say on Beast Claw this is an A, personally. I feel like wards are pretty prevalent in the game, but he does have more experience, so he's going to say B+ for Beast Claw Raiders. I agree with him with Gutbusters being a B-. You know, you throw this on a Tyrant. That's not a huge area of turning off wards, but potentially very, very, very good. All right, next up is Mega Gobbler. What does Brad think about this? He says, this is the kind of trait that sounds so great in your head when you imagine all the attacks you will gain. Yes, exactly. Then in a real game, you fail to set up the right situation. It does nothing. Gutbuster heroes need enhancements and that benefit them in the first combat they engage in, not the hypothetical combats that happen after you win the fight and probably the game. Hard to agree. If this was the Path to Glory upgrade that carried over from game to game, amazing. In a real game of AOS, not so much. That said, +1 attack benefits the Tyrant the most because he is a rare hero with 2 weapons. Too bad he struggles to kill anything. D+. Not a big fan. Yeah, I agree with Brad. It's like it reminds me of another army, the Iron Jaws, where they have the ability to get cumulative attacks the more things they kill, but it's like, how many things am I really going to kill in a 5-point game? It's not like I'm going to be killing multiple things a turn. I mean, you can. It's unlikely, though. And this has the other stipulation of having to be a specific type, right? You choose a keyword. Infantry, cavalry, monster, war machine. What if someone brings a mixed army? I mean, I guess infantry is pretty reliable, but that's not going to do much if I bring, you know, if you're going up against Beast Claw Raiders, right? I guess you do choose it in the deployment phase, so you do choose them, but if someone's bringing a mixed army, it's like potentially fine. I don't think it's very good, though. Because, yeah, if you are going up in Beast Claw Raiders, how many of them, you know, it's like, how many monsters or cavalry are you really killing? It's not, I don't know. Not a fan. All right. So there's 2 Scourge of Gairan War Scroll variants. Ooh, let me scoot this over a little bit. Are the 2 pieces of artillery, which is interesting. I feel like these did need help. I don't know if this is what I would have gone with. Maybe some infantry help would have been better, but anyway, let's get into these. We've got the Iron Blaster. His ranged weapons changed. He lost the hail and is just doing a flat 5 damage with 2 attacks. It's not bad. A little pricey. I think it's 170 still. No, not still. I think it's 170 now. Hard to say. 9-inch move with 18-inch range. You're getting whatever you want to shoot, but still a little too pricey for in my opinion. But anyway, 5 damage attacks with a ranged weapon. Once per turn in your shooting phase, you can do Shrapnel Blast. This is for the rest of the phase. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's ranged weapons. This unit's ranged weapons have crit 2. Okay, I like that. That's really good. I'll take that. I would take. Would I take 2 of these for 340? I feel like taking 1 is not enough. But it's only once per turn army, so you can only do it once. I guess you do only bring 1 then. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I'm getting drawn in by the 5 damage shooting attack, and I'm not thinking straight. All right, let's catch up with chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Over this was a pretty big letdown. I was hoping for more lead belcher support. Yeah. That's generally. I was thinking it's just not enough to push. It's like clearly Beast Claw Raiders was not the side of the army that needed help. I mean, they could have used a little bit, but this feels like they're trying to push the other wing of the army, but just didn't push hard enough. Anyway. Noblar Scrap Launcher. Great model. Never been good, though. Let's see. 18-inch range, 12 attack. Oh, wow. I think it used to be 46. So you've seen a flat 12 is, well, more reliable. Hitting on 4s. I think winning on 2s is also new. Rend 1/1 damage. I mean, it's an upgrade. I don't think it's great, though, to be frank. Scrap away. This is once per turn any shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to it this phase by this unit's shooting attack to be the target. You roll a dice. If the roll equals or exceeds the target's save characteristic, have the target's move characteristic until the start of your next turn. In addition, on a 5-up, until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls. Okay. To a minimum of 1. That's really good. The scrap away is very good. We've seen how painful oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the spider, but the spider launcher with a net that slows down your movement. That's really good. I would say that is a good utility piece. Don't use it for damage, use it for battlefield control. At least that's my takeaway from it. Let's see what Brad has to say. Hello, Brad. All right, guys, it's me, Brad. All right. Iron Blaster. Cannon loses the shotgun mode, okay, but goes from D3 plus through to flat 5 damage. The ability to shoot 2 modes was the only ability on the original War Scroll, which felt very unsatisfying. Now we have a new ability that grants an extra attack and crit 2 hits. With some lucky rolls, this thing will go wild and will feel like the most powerful artillery in the game. This is as it should be. It's physically the largest gun we've seen in the Mortal Realms. Sadly, it's only once per turn army, but I guess that's the way things go in 4.0. There are a few small tweaks to the melee profile to make it a little more dangerous to charge. This is nice, but won't have much impact. 1 Iron Blaster is a nice include, but the value drops off pretty steeply with multiples. Yeah, because of the more shots and crit 2 is only once per turn. I don't love it. But I guess you want to be careful making that a War Scroll ability, just because that could get out of control pretty fast. Then we have Noblar Scrap Launcher. What does Brad think about this? Possibly the least seen model in all of AOS. The original War Scroll is actually pretty good on paper and has a clear role. This new scroll keeps a similar role but refines it to single out any kind of unit instead of just infantry with quality armor saves. The shooting profile gets a couple extra attacks on average now. Now wounds on 2 instead of crit auto wound. Loses anti-infantry but gains that Rend 1 baked in. Oh, I missed that. So it does have Rend 1 baked in now. So just all around better on average. But the suppression ability now slows movement instead of -1 to hit. And it gets better the better the target's armor save. The one caveat is that there's a contradiction between wanting to target good armor saves, but if you fail to do any wounds with the attack, the slowing ability does nothing. That's a good point. Movement debuffs are powerful, but so are hit debuffs in 4.0. Overall, the main improvement is a modest increase in damage output and a wider range of good targets. Yeah, I see what he's getting at with the... Oh, sorry, gonna get rid of him. I see what he's saying, right? The fact that the ability only goes off if you do damage against good armor saves. But, I mean, you're doing 12 attacks. It is about just weight of dice at that point. I really don't think that against... I mean, even against weak targets, this isn't going to do that much damage. I don't know. I think I disagree with Brad a little bit there. I think that the movement... Maybe it's just because I'm a person who plays good armor saves. An army with good armor saves. This is terrifying to me. But he has more experience, so you should probably just listen to what he says. Let's see. So let's see what Brad says overall. Brad says overall, I really want to see them rewrite the Lead Belcher War Scroll, because they should be a core unit, but at the moment they are absolutely dreadful. The Tyrant also needs a lot of help. I would have preferred either of these to the War Scrolls they chose, which were already in a fine state. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. Chat, let me know what you guys think, but it seems like people are not thrilled with the Ogor update. I think the star of the show is Mage Swallower. I think that's very good. I would say maybe Greedy Eaters could be okay. I think Fixated on Feeding is a miss. I think Mega Gobbler's a miss. Gutslugger's decent. Iron Blaster's interesting. At least one is interesting. Don't want to take multiples. And I think the Scrap Launcher's all right. I think they could both use a little bit of a points drop. Probably too much for what they do. But I guess we'll have to see. Hopefully we get to see some infantry ogres on the table soon, not just Beast Claw Raiders. Anyway, that's not all we have today. That would have been a very short show after we skipped the science. But that's not all we've got. We're also going to look at this. Silly Zach. Zach went to Legends on the wrong day. We're going to talk about these new Idoneth rules, or Idoneth reveals. We said was it a leak? Not really. They just accidentally showed these models in the background, so now they have to talk about them. I'm curious what, Zach, if you're still in the chat, what do you think about these? Obviously, the models themselves, pretty great. I like this, like, it looks almost like a Thousand Suns weapon, like this Kopesh thing. Pretty neat. Those are the eels we've seen. I think model-wise, this is great. I think the next one is maybe a little cooler, though. Look at his helmet on this guy. This guy's awesome. Feels very Easterlings from Lord of the Rings. I think these are great. Let's look at the rules. Tidal Glaive, name of the weapon, amazing. Good job. These guys hit surprisingly hard for, we don't know how much they're going to cost, but 5 attacks, 3s, rend 1, 2 damage. That's like a vampire, right? That's like vampire stats. Foot vampire stats. The Surging Sea. Once per turn, army your charge phase. Pick this unit and up to one friendly unit within this unit's combat range to be the targets. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the targets to a maximum of 3. It's very good. 3d6 charge is always good. So good that they nerfed it in Slaves to Darkness. They're handing it out to other people now. Hopefully they don't have any teleports in this army, or that could get bad. Let's see. Again, Tidal Glaive's great. And then you have like the counterpart. So they have this thing going on where it's like waves go in, waves go out, which is, that's pretty cool. All right, this guy has Maelstrom Blades, 7 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, rend 1, 2 damage. Just feels more like an elf to me, that stat line. The ability is Whirlpool's Fury. Enemy units cannot use retreat abilities while they are in combat with this unit. Friendly units that use a retreat ability while they are wholly within 12 of this unit can still use shoot and or charge abilities later in the turn they charge. So that's what I mean. It's like you have bonuses to like get into combat and then ways to get out of combat with this guy. The two sides of these new models, kind of different roles. Neat. Also like, appreciate a good couple of eels. And that's pretty much it. We do get to see this new cover, which I think is pretty cool, actually. I think this is one of the better covers we've seen. I don't know what's up with his one. That's an interesting choice to have one shoulder pad shooting out like that. Whatever. It's cool. One of the better covers, though. Solid. I would say this is probably the only one that's cooler is probably the Soul Blight Gravelords one. This is pretty sick. Oh, new Spearhead too. All right. What do people think of? Holy moly! No, this is great, right? This new spearhead. This looks pretty solid. I'm curious what people think. Getting 6 eels, pretty good. I can take or leave the Namartis, the thralls or whatever. They're not the thralls, they're the bow guys, but yeah, this seems like a solid spearhead. All right, I think that's it. Wow, we did it, I think. Shows are so much faster. We don't have fucking Jabberjaw over here. No, I'm just kidding. We miss you, Zach. We can't wait for you to get unlegendsed. It doesn't happen very often. But hopefully it will. Alright. So, a couple of things. Tomorrow, they teased what tomorrow will be. It's going to be Nurgle. That's what it looks like. We're not going to have a show tomorrow. Even I won't be here tomorrow. Zach will be gone. I'll be doing things that need to be done. So there won't be a show. We will do a catch-up the day after. That means we're going to do Ogre Science, Magickin Review, and Science, and then whatever they show for the day after that. I think if there's anything else I missed. We will have a game on Thursday. That should be exciting, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Can't say what it is just yet, because it might be relevant to upcoming things. I think we did it. I'm going to say good seeing you guys for the short show today. See you not tomorrow, but after that. Bye.